tweet this out. Roster upgrade predicted for all 32. Wait, 30 teams. I'm an idiot. I gotta change the title. Oh wait, no, no. Okay. What's going on, everybody? What's up, Matthew? What's up, Toronto? MLB Talk, Nate, Jersh, Josh Rester, Goomba, Sparky, Alejandro, Nate. The Braves are insane, Nate. Troy. Toberny. MLB Talk. How's everybody doing, man? Alright, this is what we're going to be doing today. And guys, if you guys want me to do this weekly instead of doing the separate videos, I'm more than willing to. It's honestly, it's easier for me. And I feel like it's a little more interactive than the standalone videos. Yeah, I plan, if you guys like this, I plan on just doing this for, you know, it might take an hour or so to just kind of stream this out and everything. Otherwise, it would have taken me like 3 hours to do it. But we're going to be going over every single team and guys who could be potential upgrade candidates for that team. And after every division, I'm going to stop. So if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions on guys that I missed, wait until after I finish the division, and then we'll go back and look to see if I agree with you or not. So that's kind of the way that this is going to work. And just keep in mind that if I do miss someone, that there are, I mean, I had to go through a lot of freaking players and a lot of freaking stats. I worked on this last night and tonight, and it probably took me like 3 or 4 hours to finally get everybody to have a list that I was happy with. So yeah, that is what we're going to be doing today. No gameplay or anything like that. So if you're here for the gameplay, you go somewhere else, but we are going to be doing some roster upgrade predictions. So that is the game plan for today. Yeah, the Braves are insane right now. They're just out of their mind. Ronald Acuna, Ozzie Albies hit another home run today. Julio Teheran almost threw a fucking no-hitter. Like, I mean, they're out of their minds. But okay. All right, let's start with the Orioles. The Orioles don't have really a whole lot to speak of. Let's see here. Okay, now one could argue that Manny Machado deserves an upgrade. Right now he's hitting .353 with 9 home runs. He has a 1,097 OPS. That's very, very good. But he's already an 88 overall. The only thing that leads me to believe that he's going to be an upgrade guy pretty soon is the fact that SDS has been very aggressive with their upgrades early on. So with the fact that he's hitting so well right now, leads me to believe that they're going to give him kind of like a Carlos Correa type upgrade, and they're going to bump him up a little bit. If not this week, probably next week, if he keeps hitting like he is. I mean, dude's hitting .353 with 9 home runs. So I like Manny Machado. By the way, I'm not reading the chat until I finish the division, and then I'll go through and you guys can ask your questions, and then we'll, you know, revisit everything. So Manny Machado is a guy to keep your eye on. He's obviously not an investment candidate because he's so expensive, but he could go up. The other guy that I want to talk about with the Orioles is, see if we can find him here. Richard Blyer. Okay, Richard Blyer, what has he done this season? Well, he has 18 innings pitched. He's a relief pitcher. He's not a starter. But he has a .78 whip and a .5 ERA. I mean, he's killing it right now. He's one of the better relievers in baseball. The only thing that he's not doing a lot of is he's not striking guys out. He's a pitch to contact type of guy. So that K per 9, you know, it's probably not going to come up that much. but his hit per 9 definitely could. Right now, opponents are only hitting 177 off of him. This is a common card that I think has the potential, if he keeps going on, to the potential to bump up to bronze status. And he's probably not going to be all that usable even at bronze status. But he could be, he could be a long-term guy. Maybe he figures out how to start striking out people. I mean, I don't know. He's pretty old, so he might not. But he has been phenomenal to start the season. 18 innings isn't a huge sample, but this early in the season for a relief pitcher, it's pretty darn good. So, yeah, I'm a believer that Richard Bleier can get to bronze status. That K per 9 is probably always going to keep him around to bronze, but he's a guy. He's not a dud. So, that is it for the Orioles. Let's move on to the Red Sox now. The Red Sox have a shit ton of players to talk about. Okay. And like I said, if I missed anybody on the Orioles, just come back at me after we finish the AL East and we'll talk about it. Okay, so first guy for the Red Sox. No, not Vasquez. Hector Velasquez. Okay. So far, he's actually started 2 games, but he's been mostly a reliever. He has 22 innings pitched. He's pitched to a 2.05 ERA. He has 15 strikeouts, so he's not striking out a ton of guys, but he's not walking that many guys. Opponents are the only thing about this guy is that I do see potential regression in his future. He is a guy that could get an early bump from 47 overall, just because 47 overall is terrible. So if you can pitch 22 innings with a 2.05 ERA, you don't deserve to be a 47 overall. He's not going to get a big bump. He's still probably going to be a common after this, but he deserves a bump. So I decided to put him on the list. 2.05 ERA with 22 innings pitched. He does have a 1.23 whip. He has given up 23 hits and 4 walks in 22 innings, so that's not great, but he's been solid. He's been steady. So even though he's not a dominant guy or anything like that, he could be a guy to keep an eye on for like a long, kind of a middle relief or long relief type guy later on in the season. Maybe he bumps himself up to a bronze if he can keep runs off the board. Also with the Red Sox, this one's a little bit more exciting. Xander fucking Bogaerts is a machine, guys. He is a maniac. He's a maniac. Okay, Xander Bogaerts, right, so far this year, he's hitting 367, 391, 650 for a 1,041 OPS. He's done this in 60 at-bats. I think he's had some health concerns or something like that. He's hit 3 home runs in those 60 at-bats, 8 doubles in those, so 11 extra base hits in 60 at-bats. The guy's killing it right now. They may want to see a little bit more from him before they start talking about bumping him up too much. But if he continues to hit for, what is that ISO right now? Almost a 300 ISO. If he keeps hitting, if he can maintain a 200 plus ISO, you're going to start seeing that power come up. And once it does, this card becomes eminently usable because he's always had really good contact on base skills. He's a decent defender with decent speed, kind of a 5-tool guy. So very interesting guy to keep an eye on right there is Xander Bogaerts. And then his teammate, Mookie Betts, got I believe, didn't he get a recent upgrade with this last with the first roster update? Well, Mookie Betts is still killing it. Right now, Mookie Betts sitting 365 with a 1,274 fucking OPS right now. Good Lord, that's insane. He has 11 doubles and 11 home runs in 96 at-bats. 96 at-bats, guys. And he has 22 extra base hits out of that. 11 doubles and 11 home runs. He has, like a 350-ish ISO right now. His power is really starting to show up, guys. He could easily get that power over 70 versus both sides this year. If he does, he's going to be a 90-plus overall. They might even be a little light on his arm. Maybe even a little bit on his speed. I just see him going up in maybe every facet of his game this year. he could be like one of those 5-tool studs that is kind of like not even a poor man's Mike Trout. It's just like a Mike Trout type of player who's just one little notch below Mike Trout. Mookie Betts is a monster. And might be with the recent upgrade, might be more of a long-term guy, but I see him doing big things this year. Next up for the Red Sox, Mitch Moreland. Mitch Moreland. What has Mitch Moreland done this year? Well, he's only had 65 at bats, but he's hitting 323, 384, 600 for a 984 OPS. That's almost a 300 ISO. Very good. He has 4 home runs, 2 doubles. He's not, well, is he striking out? What is the percentage on those strikeouts? No, that's about in line with his career averages. But right now, I mean, he's a 74 overall who threw 65 at-bats is one of the better hitters in the league. A 984 OPS is nothing to sneeze at all. So, it is kind of a small sample. He is from Mississippi, so maybe I'm biased. I don't know. It is kind of a small sample, but he's something to look at. He's a guy to keep track of, because if he can maintain a 900-plus OPS, all of his hitting attributes are going to start creeping up. Can he do that at age 32? Can he really turn it around? Probably not enough to get to like gold status or anything like that, but he's only one step away from silver. So I think that this is an easy silver upgrade candidate. I'm buying Mitch Moreland to go silver. So keep an eye out on him. And then the final guy is Hanley. And I'm not calling Hanley an upgrade candidate right now. I'm not. But he's playing really well. The problem with Hanley, he has an 836 OPS right now, which is really solid. I mean, it's really good. It's more than solid. It's good. The problem with Hanley, and this is not me predicting an upgrade prediction right now. I don't think he's going to get it. I think he has to show a little bit more power before he gets it. And that's kind of the problem with him, is I'm not sure what they would upgrade unless it was like a little bit of a contact upgrade, because he is hitting 311 right now with a 383 on base percentage. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm kind of thinking that they may give him like a small boost to a couple of his contact attributes, but he needs to show a little bit more power before he starts thinking about getting upgraded enough to go gold or anything. He's already very limited in that capacity because of his defense. But, you know, we'll see where the season takes Hanley. Right now, he's playing really good baseball, though. Okay, that's it for the Red Sox. The Yankees, though, the AL East has, I think, more upgrade candidates than any other division. There are just a lot of, especially with the Yankees and Red Sox, there are a lot of teams that are playing really well right now. Yankees, starting out, Didi Gregorius. He's a monster. All right, Didi Gregorius. I just don't understand how these little bitty guys like Betts, Albies, Didi, how they're doing this. Well, no, never mind. Didi's not a small guy. He's 6'3", but he just isn't a guy that I think of when I think power. But he has it. Right now, he has a 1,130 OPS. He's hit 10 home runs on the year. He's in 111 at-bats. He's hitting 333. He's doing everything right now. And after a really good year last year, I could see him being a guy that they're fairly aggressive with after the hot start. Now, if he would have come out and floundered a little bit, it probably would have been a little tougher from him. But he has taken his really good year last year, and he has just taken off with it. He's always been a guy with good defense, a little bit of speed to go with it. But now he's starting to flash power. 10 home runs through the first month of the season is nothing to sneeze at. That 70 power, that 70-53 power after last season, after the start of this season, you got to start thinking about maybe bumping that up a little bit. And I know they have already, but the contact too, maybe it can come up a little bit. It's hitting 333 right now. 111 at-bats is a pretty decent sample at this point in the year. So maybe not this week, since he did just recently get an upgrade, but maybe pretty soon this could be the diamond candidate right here. This could be the guy to invest in to go diamond. If I had to guess right now, if I had to, just flip a coin, does Didi go diamond this year or not? I'm betting on Didi going diamond. So I think that he is a guy, 100%. Keep an eye on Didi Gregorius. He's killing it. Next up, not really under the radar, but before this season, he was kind of under the radar. Miguel Andujar. I don't think he's there yet. I'm not predicting that he gets an upgrade yet, but he is coming. Miguel Andujar is coming. Right now, he's only hitting 284, 296, 526 for an 822 OPS. That's really good, but it doesn't stand out. The thing that's kind of holding him down right now is he's just not walking at all, really. He only has 2 walks and 95 at-bats. That's not good enough. He's got to get on base more. But the last few games, he's really starting to hit. He's had several home runs. How many home runs does he have right now? He has 3 home runs. He's hit all of those pretty recently. He's hitting a lot of doubles. Already has 12 doubles on the year. He kind of started out slow. Kind of got slow out of the gate a little bit, but he's really starting to come on. This is a prospect. Him and Matt Chapman were the two American League third basemen that I've been really, really high on for really the past couple of years. And I think that Miguel Andujar, this is just a little bit of what we're going to see from him. I think he has a really bright future ahead of him. Probably going to get to silver this year, but if he really starts to break out, could be a gold guy. You never know. So keep your eye on Miguel Andujar. He's really starting to kill it lately. Also, an older guy. Usually I'm a little bit biased towards the younger guys, but an older guy who is not getting enough love right now is CC Sabathia. CC Sabathia right now, he's only pitched in 26.1 innings, so he's had kind of limited starts, but he started in 5 games and gotten 26.1 innings. Dude has a 1.71 ERA right now, a .95 WHIP against him. Opponents are hitting 198 against him. He has 16 strikeouts, so the strikeouts really aren't there right now, but he's keeping guys off base. He's pitching to contact, and he's getting the job done. He's a veteran guy, doesn't have the stuff that he used to, but he's figuring out ways to win. And that's a big, big thing for a guy like him who's kind of lost his stuff. He doesn't have the same kind of stuff that he used to, but he's figuring out a way. He's a veteran guy. He knows how to win, and if he keeps that up, you may see that walk per 9 come up. You may see that hit per 9 come up, and all that stuff. So keep an eye out for CC. He's pitching pretty well right now. Another guy, Chasen Shreve. Now, this guy is kind of interesting because right now he only has 12 innings pitched, but he has 16 strikeouts in that time, a .92 WHIP, and a .75 ERA. He's only given up 1 earned run in those 12 innings. And Chasen Shreve has always been a really frustrating guy because he guys really don't hit him all that well. He strikes out guys, but he just can't keep runners off the base paths. And he has 4 walks in 12 innings. What is that, like a 3.3? What walk per 9 would that be? I don't know. I don't have the number in front of me. But it seems a little bit better than a 36 walk per 9. It seems like that should maybe come up a little bit. So if he can get that hit per 9, the problem with Chasen is that he doesn't, but because his hit and his K per 9 are so high already, he might not have a direct avenue to get up there into that silver range. But you never know. He could make it. And the big thing with him is he's just got to stop walking people. He's still young enough to figure it out. He's 27. He can get on top of his command and figure it out. So keep an eye on Chasen Shreve. He's pitched really, really well to start out the season. And then finally, for the Yankees, Luis Severino. He's 83 gold. Could be another diamond candidate. So look out for him. Right now, he's pitching to a 2.11 ERA, but this is the big thing, in 47 innings. That's one of the bigger samples that I've seen from a starting pitcher this year. So maybe you start to see that stamina go up. That's only in 7 starts. He's went 47 innings. What is that? I suck at math. That's more than 6 innings per start. So the guy's kind of being a workhorse right now. He's killing it. He has 52 strikeouts in those 47 innings, better than a 9 K per 9. He's not walking an exorbitant amount of people. He only has a .85 whip. Opponents are only hitting 172 against him. He's a high pedigree, high prospect guy. Diamond is in Luis Severino's future. It's just a matter of when. When do they decide to pull the trigger and make him a diamond? My bet is that it's before the end of May. So keep your eye on Luis Severino. The guy has been dominant. And that's going to do it for the Yankees. Let's move on to the Rays. And the Rays and the Blue Jays, actually, I don't know. They still have a good amount of people. So okay. For the Rays, they have a few guys. First off is a guy who I kind of turned my nose up at last in the video I made, but I've kind of come around on him. Mallex Smith. What is Mallex doing right now? He's hitting 322, 385, 402 for a 788 OPS. That OPS doesn't stand out. He's not a power guy. It's always going to be tough for him to get that OPS up because that's just not his game. His game is to play as kind of a slap hitter, get on base, steal bases. And he's good at that. He's also played decent defense out in the field, so maybe you could get his arm is a noodle, but maybe you could get a fielding boost to go with that reaction. But the thing is he only has 73-53 contact. So if he could get that contact up into the high 70s against both sides, you could see a silver player. Maybe even better if he can get his defense to go up accordingly. And I really think he's faster than 87 speed. I don't think that that's fair. I know he only has 6 stolen bases this year, and he's been caught 3 times. I don't really think that that's the best measurement. I haven't seen the StatCast data on his speed, but whenever he was with Atlanta, the dude was a burner. So 87 speed, while good, I think he probably deserves to be in the 90s. So I'd like to see that, and I'd like to see him get his contact versus lefties up, and maybe a little bit versus righties too. I think he's going to get an upgrade. I just don't know how big of one. Another guy for the Rays, this could be a potential gold candidate, Wilson Ramos. Wilson Ramos in 80 at-bats this year, sitting 313, 368, 525 for an 893 OPS, 4 home runs, 5 doubles. Guy's killing it. He's doing exactly what he did whenever he was with the Nationals a few years ago, and everybody was talking about him as like the next big thing at catcher. Obviously injuries kind of derailed that a little bit, but he's still a very effective catcher, and he's a big-time hitter. He's always had the bat at catcher, and he's showing that this year. He could stand a gain in contact and power versus righties. Very reasonable that he does that. I like me some Wilson Ramos. Could be a very, very solid investment for gold upgrades because he's not that expensive right now. He's kind of flying a little bit under the radar. So probably a pretty good investment opportunity right there. Another guy is Robertson. Where is he? Daniel Robertson. Now, this one is really intriguing right here. I'd never even heard of this guy. But Daniel Robertson has come out of the gate on fire, man. He's only 24 years old. He's played in 24 games. He has 71 at-bats. He's hitting .310 with a 977 OPS, 3 home runs, and 2 doubles. That's really good, man, for a 24-year-old who I had never heard of. And he's only a 60 overall. I don't know enough about this guy to give you a ceiling on what he could potentially be, but right now he's hitting the cover off the ball. He's murdering the ball. So if he keeps that up, you could start to see that hitting go up. And I don't know, Rays fans, maybe let me know if I'm missing anything with him. But just kind of scouting the box score, the dude looks like a monster. So yeah, keep your eye out for Daniel Robertson. And then finally, Blake Snell. Blake Snell's a monster. He is, right now, he has 42.1 innings pitched, 2.55 ERA, a .94 whip. He struck out 45 guys, walked 12. He has given up 4 home runs, so that's a good bit. But everything else other than that's probably why he has a .94 whip, but yet a 2.55 ERA. If he can kind of cut down on the home runs, he could be one of those elite type guys, and you could see him jump from a bronze to maybe even a gold. So Blake Snell, maybe more of a long-term guy, but I really like what I've seen from him so far. Keep your eye out for Blake Snell. Now on to the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays, starting out, we're going to talk about Kevin Pillar. Kevin Pillar is doing something we didn't think he could do. He's hitting for power. So, yeah, look out. Kevin Pillar with power is a superstar. Now, he's probably a little too old to, like, say that this can be that we can say that this is reliable data. It could just be small sample size. But right now, the dude has a 247 ISO. The guy has a 247 ISO right now. He's killing it. So, yeah, he's hitting 319, 373, 566, 939 OPS, 4 home runs, 12 doubles, 2 triples. He's stolen 5 bags. Just all around, just playing fantastic. And if he can just keep up, just keep that ISO in between 200 and 250, which I'm very skeptical of him being able to do. You can see that power getting to the 50s, the 60s even. He could be a star, man. He's still under 30. He's kind of established in the league. I don't know if he'll ever really be able to put together a full season of 200 plus ISO baseball, but right now he is. He's put together a month's worth, and his power deserves to be higher than 44, 42. And yeah, with his great defense, that could be a valuable asset. After Kevin Pillar, we have how do you say this guy's name? Teoscar Hernandez. All Teoscar Hernandez is doing right now, he's hitting 280, so a little bit on the lower side with the average, but he has 341 on-base percentage and a 587 slugging, good for a 928 OPS. He's hit 4 home runs, 7 doubles, 2 triples, and only 75 at-bats. So it's important to keep in mind that he has 13 extra base hits and only 75 at-bats. That's really, really solid. He has a 300-plus ISO, so you could see that power start to come up. Probably has to hit for a little bit better contact to get the contact up all that much, but could be a guy to keep an eye on. And then finally, or not finally, I actually have a weird one here in just a minute, but first we're going to start out with Roberto Osuna. It's time to make Osuna a diamond. I mean, he's not really pitching diamond level right now. In 13.1 innings, he has a 2.03 ERA, 11 strikeouts, 105 whip. He's only struck out 11 guys in 13.1 innings. I mean, he's not pitching phenomenally right now, but it's time to make him a diamond. I'm sorry. It just is. This really isn't a great prediction. Like, I don't think he will go diamond, but he's just been so steady. And he's so young, man. That's the thing that's so scary about him. He's so young and so steady. And right now he's not performing at a dominant level, but a very solid level. So just give him the diamond already. Bump his K per 9 up to like 86 or his home run per 9 up to 70. Just get him there. Get him to diamond. And then the other thing with the Blue Jays that really stood out to me was just how good their bullpen has been in general. We got Tyler Clippard, Tepera, Axford, Barnes, all under a 2 ERA. And then you have O, who is sitting at a 2.19, Osuna, who's sitting at a 2.03. That's 6 guys who all have an ERA under 2.20. Jay's bullpen has been surprisingly solid, and they've all done that in over 12 innings of work. I mean, they just all around been really good. Other than that, though, nobody to really talk about on the Jays. So that's going to do it for the NL East. Any questions? About to bring back up the chat. So. Okay, ISO. For those of you who don't know, ISO is all it is your slugging percentage minus your batting average. And what it basically does is it takes away all your singles. So it's basically your average, not really your average, but it's basically a way to see how effective you are at getting extra base hits. And usually the benchmark for a good ISO, for like a really solid ISO, is 200. So if you have, like, let's say a 290 batting average and a 500 slugging percentage, that would be a 210 ISO. So that would mean that you're hitting effectively for power. You are a solid power hitter. So yeah, that's what ISO is. Shelfie. Wait, talk the pick looks like Scott Kingery. Wait, what? Yo, what up, Sparky? Should I buy DD for 10K or will he go down tomorrow? I seriously doubt he goes down tomorrow. Yeah, why would he? I don't think he will, unless there's something I don't know about. All right. Let's see. For explaining that, I know many things, but advanced analytics isn't my thing. I understand, man. I sometimes I throw around like ISO is one of those things that it's not really a super advanced thing, and usually, like, if you're semi into like statistics at all in baseball, you'll know what it is. But I can understand, like, how if you're just kind of like a casual statistics guy, you wouldn't know. So yeah, no problem. It's a very effective stat, though, to measure power and stuff. Jay, that was the big problem with making this list, is that there were a few guys that got upgraded last week, but they're still playing really well, and I still think that they have a little room to go up. A lot of these guys, if they do repeat from upgrades from last week, you can look at them as guys who may be a week or two down the line, because I'm kind of with you. I don't think that there are that many guys that they would upgrade 2 weeks in a row, but they do it occasionally. And even if they don't, it still could be a potential investment for a couple of weeks down the line, or maybe even a couple months down the line. Who knows? But okay, moving on to the AL Central. White Sox don't have that many players, but what are my thoughts on sociology majors? It depends on the specific one. Okay. Chad is going down. We're about to do the AL Central. Okay, I'm going to try to run through these a little bit quicker. I'm kind of wasting – I'm a little too wordy with these players right now. So I'm just going to kind of give you the snapshot, maybe say a couple words, and then move on from that player. So with the White Sox, Yoan Moncada started out really bad, and he's still striking out way too much. But he's gotten his average up to 268. He's hitting for an 877 OPS. He's starting to hit for some power. He has 6 home runs, 8 doubles, but he's still striking out way too much, man. And it's going to be really tough for him to break out into that superstar type player that we think he is if he keeps striking out at this rate. But he's like I said, he's hitting for some power, starting to get that average up a good bit. So he could be, maybe not this week or next week, but he could be looking at eventual power and contact upgrades. That vision probably ain't going nowhere. It's probably going to be at 29 all year if he keeps striking out at this rate. Hell, it might go down a little bit because he is striking out a whole lot. He has 48 strikeouts and 112 at-bats. So keep an eye out for Yoan Moncada. The other guy for The White Sox, Reynaldo Lopez. All Reynaldo has done is a 1.78 ERA in 30.1 innings pitched. And I think I mentioned him the other day. I'm still skeptical of Reynaldo. Right now, in those 30.1 innings, he's walked 15 batters, and he only has 25 strikeouts. That's not very good at all. He has a 122 whip, so he is, even with all those walks, he's still not allowing enough hits for it to really hurt him. Opponents are only hitting 204 against him, but that's still not fantastic. So he really, really, really needs to cut down on the walks a good bit for him to go up. But with that 1.78 ERA, he could be seeing a few gains, and maybe, I don't know, maybe in a few weeks he can bump up to silver if he keeps it up. So keep your eye out for Reynaldo Lopez. Moving on to the Indians. Indians have three players. Okay, first, Michael Brantley. Michael Brantley right now is hitting 349, 367, 570. So he has that 200 plus ISO. Maybe he gets a few power gains, but I think they might wait a little bit longer to give him that because he only has 3 home runs. I don't think it'd make a lot of sense to upgrade that right now. Does have a 936 OPS though. Maybe they could give him some slight contact boosts because he's always been a good contact hitter, and right now he's hitting 349. Also, his defense seems a little bit low for where he's at. He's always been an okay defender, so maybe a little bit low on the defense. But Michael Brantley, so far, just having a really good season, and I think that they maybe should reward him just with a small boost, take him from an 81, make him an 82. That's all I'm asking. Aside from Michael Brantley, you got Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer, in 40 innings so far, this is 2.45 ERA, 46 strikeouts, and 16 walks. His walks aren't horrific, but they're pretty high. But his opponents are only hitting 189 against him. He's not giving up that many hits. He has a 1.09 whip, very solid. And he's striking out his fair share, 46 strikeouts in 40 innings, very, very good. So, yeah, with that 2.45, I don't think that 2.45 ERA in 40 innings is a mirage for Bauer. I know he's kind of been in the news lately with some weird opinions about things like the Astros and cheating and stuff like that, but I'm not going to get into that. Right now, he's pitching great, and it's exciting to see. I like Trevor Bauer. He was kind of one of my favorite prospects a few years ago, so it's good to see him kind of turning everything around, turning into an effective player. Another guy is Mike Clevenger. Another guy that was not, I don't ever remember him being like a tippy-top prospect, but he was always solid. His big problem was that he was just always walking too many people, and it looks like he's gotten that under control at least a little bit. In 38.1 innings, he's only walked 10 guys. That's not terrible. That's manageable. You can totally work with that. Opponents are hitting 238 against him. He does have a 115 whip. So maybe, try to do some different things to get guys out, but he only has a 2.82 ERA. Could be due for an upgrade. Maybe not that. Maybe they need to see a little bit more from him because he's one of those guys that doesn't have a great avenue to getting upgrades except for his walk per 9. That's the thing that I could see kind of getting bumped up because he has been a lot better. So Mike Clevenger, got to keep your eye out for him. Moving on from the Indians, we have the Tigers. Okay, and the first one is a very pleasant surprise, Miguel Cabrera. Miguel Cabrera he looks like his old self. He was bad last year, guys. He was real bad last year. Defense, offense, everything. He was a negative play. He was a negative WAR player in every sense of the word. He was a black hole on that team. He's been good this year. Sitting 323, 407, 516, 924 OPS. He's hit 3 home runs, 9 doubles. Good to see him getting doubles and stuff, especially now that his speed is kind of evaporated. He's doing good. 93 at-bats. He's playing well. I don't really know if there are any great avenues for him to come up because his contact is already really high and he's not really hit for enough power to get any upgrades, but he's playing really well. It's fun to see Miguel Cabrera playing well, so maybe just based off that, they'll give him like a couple power points or something maybe, just to get him going, you know, to get him tracking back towards Diamond. I don't think he's going to get there, but, you know, who knows? Maybe he has a monster year this year. We'll see. But right now he's playing really well. A lot of you guys are going to be mad because I don't make an upgrade prediction for Nick Castellanos. I don't think he's hitting for enough power. His contact, I think, is about right for where he's hitting right now. Maybe a small boost. It's contact versus righties, but I'm not a big Castellanos fan at all. I like him as a person. As a player, I'm not a fan. I don't think he's a good player. But anyways, one guy I am going to give an upgrade prediction to is Candelario. Candelario right now is hitting 283, so not fantastic. 358 with a 508 slugging percentage, 867 OPS, very solid. He's hit 4 home runs, 3 triples, 9 doubles, and 120 at-bats. That is better than a 66 overall bronze. I'm sorry, it just is. He probably needs probably power. That's probably the place he's going to get it, is through power. He might get a small boost versus contact, but like I said, he's only hitting 283, so it's probably going to come in the form of power, but he deserves that. He has a 508 OPS, so give Candelario the bump, and I'm a fan of Candelario. I think he could be a really good player in the future. So yeah, give Candelario the bump. And then finally, Boyd, Matt Boyd. Matt Boyd threw 5 starts this year, 29 innings pitched, 2.48 ERA, 107 WHIP. Not striking out that many guys. He's only struck out 21 batters in 29 innings. So the K per 9 probably ain't going to be coming up anytime soon. But he's being efficient. He has a 107 WHIP. Opponents are hitting 217 against him, so that hit per 9 can maybe come up a little bit. He's given up 3 home runs in 29 innings. That's not that good. So he could be one of those guys that just doesn't have an obvious avenue to get any bumps. But you never know, man. He could maybe get some of those weird like pitching clutch bumps or stamina bumps or something like that to get better. But he kind of deserves it, man. He's in 29 innings, 2.48 ERA. That's pretty darn good. And I was thinking about Michael Fulmer. He's very close to gold. I just want to see a little bit more from Fulmer. Opponents are hitting 267 against him. That's not great. He has a 127 ERA. So give him a few more starts and keep his ERA below a 3, and I'll start talking about him going up to gold, but not yet. Okay, the Royals. Two guys with the Royals. First, Jorge Soler. Jorge Soler, right now, you can see 64 basically across the board. Just a solid hitter. Just a solid, as people like to call Nick Markakis, professional hitter. But he's still so young, and you can see just with 60s across the board, you can just see that there's like potential to be unleashed here. And it looks like this year, this might be the year that he releases it. Right now, he's hitting 312, 435 on base percent. A 435 on base percentage is really, really good. And a 538 slugging percentage. 4 homers, 2 doubles. Still striking out a little bit too much, in my opinion. But he's taking walks. He's hitting for power. Would like to see him hit for a little bit more power. But, yeah, because right now he has slightly over 200 ISO. That's probably about where his attributes say he is. But with a 312 average, I could see him getting contact boosts. And if he does, you know, maybe he's a silver player. Maybe even better later on as the year goes on. Maybe he gets better and better, starts hitting for a little bit more power, and he gets some bumps. I've really liked what I've seen from Soler early in the year, so we'll see where it goes. Still a very young player that has a lot of time left. Give him time to grow, and he will. So keep your eye out for him. And then the other guy, Kelvin Herrera. Kelvin Herrera only has 11.2 innings pitched this year, and he's only struck out 14 guys, which for a reliever, I mean, that's, what is that, like 10 strikeouts per 9? That's good, but like with Kelvin Herrera, man, with that stuff, I want to see that into like the fucking 13, 14K per 9, that crazy shit, you know. It's not giving it to us, really hadn't given it to us his entire career, but he has a .77 ERA, .69 whip. He hasn't walked anybody, so his control has been on point, his command on point lately. The only earned run he's given up was through a home run. He's keeping guys off the base pass, being very efficient. I like him. I think that he could go back to gold sooner rather than later. I've always liked Kelvin Herrera. He's a good player. So yeah, I like him. Next up, the Twins. Okay, I've got one player that I'm really not looking forward to talking about, but we will. Escobar. Escobar, where are you, homie? Okay. Eduardo Escobar so far this year, 308 average, 350 on base percentage, 582 slugging. That's a 932 OPS. He's been killing it. Only has he has 4 home runs and 13 doubles in 91 at-bats this year. Just overall, just been really solid, you know. The power is a little bit surprising for me. I've never pinned 250 plus ISO on Eduardo Escobar, and I do think that probably is going to regress a little bit, but probably not to the point to where 50-61 will be an accurate reflection of him. I think that by the end of the year, this is going to be a silver type player. I think that a lot of what we've seen from him is not 100% sustainable, but fairly sustainable. I see him being in the 800s and OPS and stuff like that. But he's never going to be like a 30 home run guy. More of like a, like 15 home runs and like maybe 20 or like 30 doubles or something like that. I don't know. I'd have to think about it for a little while. But he's had a really good season to start out. So I think he deserves a little bit of a bump. And Kepler also deserves a bump. Kepler is still pretty young. He's got a bright future ahead of him. But right now, Kepler has 4 home runs. He's hitting .298 with a .593 slugging percentage, .902 OPS, 4 home runs, 9 doubles. He's kind of approximating what Eduardo Escobar is doing, just kind of in a different way. He's not striking out a lot. He only has 12 strikeouts and 94 at-bats, so maybe he gets a vision boost, something like that. I don't have his splits in front of me, but he could see boosts versus lefties, power and contact. I don't know, but he has avenues to grow. He's really low versus lefties, so maybe he's playing a little bit better versus them, and he could come up. I know that for prediction video, I should have looked up the splits. I just, for this guy, I didn't. So we'll see with Max Kepler. He's had a really good start to the year. Also, Presley. Before we talk about the guy I don't want to talk about, we're going to talk about Presley. Ryan Presley. Ryan Presley, 110 ERA and 16.1 innings pitched. Phenomenal for a reliever. 16.1 innings. He struck out 21 players. In those 16.1 innings, he has a 110 whip. He's walked 4 guys. He has given up a home run. He's given up, his fair share, but for the most part, he's keeping runners off base. Opponents only have a .226 average against him. He's just been very solid so far. 110 ERA. You've got to give him a little bit of a bump. That's better than a 68 overall. They were very quick on the trigger with a lot of relievers last week. So I figure Ryan Presley, with that sample size, and relating that back to what they did last week, I think he deserves a bump. Maybe not all the way to silver, but certainly higher than a 68. And then finally, the guy that I don't want to talk about. Last week, I said that Jose Barrios was going to get a bump, and I think I was right. I believe he did get a pretty substantial upgrade. And then he decided to go and be fucking awful. In his last 2 starts, I think he's given up like 9 earned runs, and he's been terrible. He's been awful the past 2 starts. Hopefully that's just like a little blip on the radar, and he's going to get back on track and be back to being a gold candidate. But right now, he's got to pitch a little bit better because his last 2 starts have been terrible. Yeah, but even with those 2 bad starts, he still only has a 3.63 ERA, which is fine. He's just gotta calm down a little bit. Okay, so that's gonna do it for the AL Central. Bring the chat back up. Anybody have any questions about the AL Central before we move on to the AL West? Who did they bring up? Sparky? I didn't see the game. I didn't watch it. No attribute upgrades this week? Has that been confirmed? Okay, well, then this will be, I guess, the attribute upgrade stream for next week, then. Last year they did them weekly, but I guess they're not doing that. Maybe every 2 weeks this year. So now that we know that, we'll be more informed moving forward. So everything that I'm saying right now, you can maybe carry that over into next week. If I feel the need to do another one, I will, but we'll see. What's up, Kinetic Kid? You got a question, Josh? What's up? Will there be a 99 Garden Hire Manager of the Month? No. Don't be dumb. Castellanos Diamond Watch? No. Don't be dumb. Why didn't you talk about Leonis Martin? He's been hitting really well for the Tigers. Has he? Let's look. Martin is hitting 284, 345, 477 with an 822 OPS, 4 homers, 5 doubles, 3 triples. He has been hitting good. 822 OPS early on, that doesn't really pop out at you as being like something that's upgrade worthy. But given Martin's attributes right now, which are fucking awful, maybe you're right. Maybe I should add Martin. You know what? I think you're right. I think you're fucking right. Good call. Good call. Good call. Yeah, I think that he's playing above his attributes right now. I think you're right. Good call. Okay. What else? Yes, I did go over the Rays. You can go back and look at it once the video gets uploaded. I will put it in the playlist for upgrades. Romero? Oh, Fernando Romero was the Twins pitcher. Oh, okay. He did have a good start, didn't he? I don't, like, was he a top prospect, though? I don't ever remember talking about Fernando Romero as a prospect. or at least as like a top 50 prospect. Yeah, I don't know about that. He did have a good start, 5.2 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs. I mean, that's really good. But yeah, I don't ever remember hearing about him as a top prospect. Well, let's go and look. Let's go see. Oh yeah, he is. He is for MLB Pipeline, which is the worst list out there, by the way. He is the 66th ranked prospect. 70 slider, 55 or 70 fastball, 55 slider, 50 changeup, 50 control, 55 overall prospect. Pretty good in AAA, 2.57 ERA. He's probably pretty solid. Usually pitchers in that range though, that like 60 range, they either end up being like a really solid like number 3 type pitcher, or they're nothing. Like there's not a lot of in between there. So I don't know, maybe he's good, maybe he'll be good. I don't know. Twins are one of those teams that I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to as far as like their prospects are concerned, at least ever since Buxton graduated and Sano graduated. So yeah, I don't know. Okay. Anything else before we move on? Matt Davidson stocks. I looked at Matt Davidson. He's the power output is real. Yeah, Matt Davidson, he has a 970 OPS right now with 9 home runs, 4 doubles. The power is there. There's no doubt about that. Where is he at? And he's a 65 overall. The problem I see with Matt Davidson is right now he's striking out at like a 30%, well actually more like a 40% clip. He's striking out a ton right now. And the only thing that he's really showing is power. But they've already got him with good power in the game. What he needs to show to move up is he needs to stop striking out so much, and he needs to start making better contact. Right now he's only hitting 253, and he doesn't have, and he's striking out too much, and I don't really know that much about his defense. So I'm not going to predict like an upgrade there or anything. So, having a good season so far, I mean, as evidenced by the 970 OPS, but I'm not sure that there is enough there yet to warrant an upgrade. He's not doing anything that's like abnormal from his attributes, if you get what I'm saying. That his stuff was so nasty in his first start. That's sick. I'll have to watch his next start. I mean, a 70 fastball with a 55 slider and a 50 changeup. I mean, usually Pipeline's grades are fucking way off, but I don't know. Maybe that's low. Maybe he has like an 80 grade or at least like a 70 grade fastball, 65 slider, 60 changeup. If they're talking about how nasty it was. That's probably the case. I don't know. But I'll see. Okay, though. Moving on. Yeah, Gmail user. It's just he has to do something that isn't in line with his current attributes. Right now, I considered Matt Davidson, though. I've got to see a little bit more. Dixon Machado, he has a 592 OPS. Why did you tell me to look him up? Like, he has a 592 OPS. That's awful. Yeah, he might be a downgrade candidate. I don't know what's Dixon Machado's overall right now. 62, way too fucking high. Downgrade that bitch. Nah, I'm kidding. But yeah. I didn't talk about him because he's not an upgrade candidate. Okay, moving on to the Angels. Okay. First guy up. Jose Alvarez. 13.2 innings pitched, .66 ERA, .95 whip. This is the same Jose Alvarez that had like that one really good year with the Braves and ended up netting us Travis Demerit, right? This is the same guy. Well, he kind of, if this is the same guy, he kind of has a pedigree for like being pretty decent out of the bullpen. So a 66 overall whenever he has a 66 ERA in 13.2 innings. He struck out 15 guys. He's only walked 3. Opponents are hitting 196 against him. He has a .95 whip. There's a lot to like about what I'm seeing from Jose Alvarez's line. And I think he could be a potential upgrade candidate. I could see hit per 9 going up with that average. I could see his K per 9 going up with a 15 and 13. Could be a guy. He could be a guy that can maybe go silver. I don't know. Right now he's killing it. We'll have to see. Obviously another guy that's been killing it. Andrelton Simmons. I guess I'm so poisoned by all the years that he spent with the Braves, but I don't know if I believe Andrelton's improvements offensively are like 100% real, but we have a large enough sample to where we kind of have to start to think they are. And based on his year from last year and the year before that, the fact that he's a gold is kind of laughable. His defense, first of all, should be 99s across the board. It should be fucking 99s across the board. There should not be a shortstop in this game, including Ozzie Smith, that has better defense than this Andrelton Simmons. He's the best defensive shortstop, at least in his prime, which he ostensibly still is in. That's better than Andrelton Simmons. There's just not a shortstop. And his hitting is really good so far. He has 3 home runs. He's hitting .320, .387 on base, .490 slug, .877 OPS, in 100 at-bats, 32 hits. He's got 6 doubles, a triple. He's only struck out 9 times. I mean, his vision has always been really good. So, he's not taking, well, I mean, I don't know, a 10% walk rate, that's fine. Yeah. 10% walk rate's fine. It's actually good. So, yeah, all around, he's just hitting really well. Could see a discipline boost. Could see power boost. Does he have a... No. Maybe not a... Maybe a slight power boost, but not much. He doesn't hit 200 in ISO yet. But the contact, certainly. The defense should go up, too. He was like a 7-WAR player last year, man. Make Andrelton a diamond. Figure out a way to do it because the guy deserves it, man. His defense, if you have to bump his defense to 99 everything, do it because that's how good he is. And the way they treat Andrelton in this game has always kind of pissed me off, though. Anyways, okay, Ohtani. Now, we're talking about hitter Ohtani here, not pitcher Ohtani. Because pitcher Ohtani has like a 4.4 ERA or something right now. He doesn't warrant an upgrade right now, but hitter Ohtani might. Hitter Ohtani has a .961 OPS. He has 4 home runs and only 52 at-bats. That's the important thing. 4 home runs, 2 doubles, and a triple, and only 52 at-bats. That's excellent. That is excellent. He has a .308 batting average, .345 on base percentage, .615 slugging. Only minor criticism I could have of him right now is he maybe needs to try to start walking a little bit more, getting a few more walks. But other than that, hitter Ohtani has been better than pitcher Ohtani so far this year. Not to say that that's the case, that he's a better hitter than he is pitcher. I'm just saying in this very small sample that we have, he's been a better hitter. But I'm pretty confident to say that in the future it'll be vice versa. It'll be the other way around. But right now, that's where we stand. Probably deserves some hitting upgrades. So that's it for the Angels. Let's move on to the Athletics. Oakland Athletics, Jed Lowry, 340, hitting 341, 1,013 OPS, 8 home runs, playing way, way, way over his head right now, but it could mean he has a head start on an all-star caliber season. Let's just say that. His power probably needs to go up. His contact probably needs to go up. He's killing the ball right now. Probably been the best second baseman in the league so far this year, and that's hard for me to say with Ozzie Albies sitting there. I really want to say it's pretty close between him and Ozzie, but with that 341 average, I might have to just give it to Jed. He's killing the ball right now. Also, where is he? Where is he? Oh, there he is. Canha. Mark Canha. Where are you, Mark? 67 overall, but right now he only has 60 at-bats, and he's hitting 339, 391, 644 for 1,035 OPS. He has 5 home runs. Not a very big sample, but with a 1,035 OPS, I think they might do just like a quick upgrade on him just to kind of bump. I think his hitting attributes were too low from the get-go, so I think if they brought everything up, maybe +4 or +5 maybe with the contact and power, that would be about right. So yeah, I think Mark Canha deserves, I might be saying his name wrong, but deserves an upgrade. And another guy, probably my favorite eventual gold upgrade prediction is Sean Manaea. Manaea, 6 games, 43.2 innings. He's been pretty much a workhorse. 134 average against him, 0.62 whip, 1.03 ERA, struck out 37 batters in 43 innings. That's probably the only criticism of him, is he's not striking out that many guys relative to some other guys, but overall just been super efficient. He's also giving up probably too many home runs. They do have 4 home runs against him, but with a 134 average against you and a 0.62 whip, those aren't going to kill you. So, yeah, he's been murdering everybody. Sean Manaea, I think he goes gold by the end of the year, no doubt. And moving on to the Mariners. James Pazos. Dude, his stuff is filthy. Good Lord. And he throws from that weird angle. Man, he is... That velocity and break is fun to look at. But Pazos right now, his opponents are hitting 205 against him. He has a .84 whip. He's not walking like anyone right now. Only has 10.2 innings, but he has a 169 ERA, and they've been really quick to move up relievers, like I said. So maybe he gets a walk per 9 boost. Maybe he struck out 13 guys in 10.2 innings. Probably his K per 9 stays the same, but with opponents hitting 205, maybe he gets a hit per 9 boost. He might have to do it for a little bit longer before they decide to give him that boost to high bronze, low silver, but he's a potential guy to keep an eye on. D. Gordon. D. Gordon is very, very, very close to being a diamond. Or not a diamond, a gold. All he needs is just a little bit of a bump in contact or something else. Right now he's hitting 342. So if they wanted to give him a contact upgrade to bump him up to gold, now would be a really good time to do so, because he is hitting very, very well right now. Not taking any walk. Like, he only has 2 walks, though, and 120 at-bats. That's kind of weird. So he only has a 368 on base percentage, but he has an 801 OPS. He has hit a home run this year. He has hit a double and a triple. Obviously, he's not a big power guy, but I think if you wanted to bump up his contact versus righties or lefties and get him to gold, they should probably do it right now. And then finally, with the Rangers, Mitch Haniger. Mitch Haniger is murking the ball right now. He is just, he's amazing. He's amazing. He's 27 years old, so he's, you know, he's not a young buck anymore. He's my age. That's fucking weird to think about. Dude has 10 home runs and 103 at-bats, hitting .301 with a 1,053 OPS. They just gave him a recent bump. Probably not going to do it two weeks in a row. But if he keeps hitting like this, if he keeps that average around 300, keeps hitting home runs at the rate he's hitting them right now, dude's going to keep going up and up and up. I think that Mitch Haniger will hit gold by the end of the year, especially if he keeps it up, obviously. Moving on to the Rangers. Rangers only have two guys. First one is Jose Leclerc. Okay. Jose Leclerc already has amazing hit and K per nine, but probably the worst fucking walk per nine in the league. So if he's going to go up, that's going to be his avenue. But you know what? This might have been a bad pick by me. More I'm looking at it. He only has 8 innings pitched, and he's walked 3 guys already. Does have 9 strikeouts. Opponents are only hitting .45 against him. He has a .5 whip. And he hasn't given up an earned run yet in those 8 innings. He's been really good so far, but they might want to see a little bit more out of him. So I'm not sure I'm in love with this pick by me. Might want to go back to the drawing board on this. If he can keep this up over the course of like 14, 15 innings though, keep a lookout for Leclerc. He could be an upgrade candidate, could go to silver sooner rather than later. He needs to stop walking people, though. If he can get that walk per nine up to, like, fucking 50, I mean, he's probably, like, a gold or something. So keep your eye out on Leclerc. And then Doug Fister. Older guy, Doug Fister. Doug Fister, so far in 25 innings, he has a 2.88 ERA. Struck out 20, 148 whip. So he's walked his fair share of guys, which is kind of that's not in the Doug Fister playbook. He's given up 27 hits, so he's getting a little bit lucky. You know what? Fuck this pick. I was just honestly, let me tell you what happened. Doug Fister is not going to get an upgrade. Probably Jose Leclerc isn't right now. Let me tell you what happened. The Rangers don't have anybody to think about upgrading right now. I looked through hitters, I looked through pitchers, I couldn't find that many people. And I wanted to have somebody ready for every team, and they just happen to be the ones that are playing the best. But the Rangers are not playing all that great right now. Let me look at their hitters again. I mean, maybe Elvis Andrus, but is he really playing that far above his attributes? He's hitting .327 right now. 926 OPS, so maybe they bump his power up a little bit, but not a lot. Adrian Beltre is hitting for good average, but he hadn't hit for any power at all. Has less than a 150 ISO. So, if anything, he probably deserves a power downgrade. Mazzaro, maybe. Mazzaro. Well, he only has a 771 OPS. Fuck, the Rangers don't have anybody that's really worth upgrading right now. Yeah, I don't see it with anybody. So, fuck the Rangers. They fucked up everything, guys. But the Astros are going to redeem everybody. So they have lots of guys. Okay, let's start out with Chris Davinsky. Last year, the only thing I remember him for is he was like, he was the only guy in the game that I think had 5 different pitches and none of them were breaking balls. He had like a changeup, a split finger, a 4-seam, a 2-seam, and a cutter. which, like, some of those are on the fringes of being a breaking ball, but, like, none of them really are. But he was tough to hit. And right now, 13.1 innings. He has a .68 ERA, struck out 17. He's only walked 2. He has a .75 whip. Dude's been killing it. Another guy that's been killing it. Where is he? Colin McHugh. Colin McHugh, .75 ERA in 12 innings pitch. He's only walked 2. He struck out 18. He has a .67 whip. Another guy, 68 overall, definitely deserves an upgrade. 100%. Justin Verlander just got a recent upgrade, so we're not going to talk about him. Will Harris. Wait.
Is that right?
What is it about Will Harris that I decided to write his name down? Why did I decide to do that? Is that the wrong Harris? Is there another Harris on the I just wrote a last name, Harris. I assumed it was Will Harris. Okay, Will Harris doesn't deserve anything. Fuck Will Harris. I don't know why I wrote his name down. But Charlie Morton does deserve an upgrade. Charlie Morton is right now 78 overall, getting pretty close to gold status. Has a 172 ERA in 36.2 innings, .98 whip, been killing it. All the Astros pitchers really have been killing it so far. Has 45 strikeouts in those 36.2 innings, 13 walks, just overall just been really solid. So it'd be nice to see Charlie Morton. He's a bit of an older guy. It'd be nice to see him get up into that gold tier. And finally, last guy, Josh Reddick. Now this one is a little bit weirder. Josh Reddick, I really like him as an investment right now. The reason is because even though he's only hitting 242 and he only has a 789 OPS, he's hitting for a little bit of power. He has a 211 ISO right now. He has 6 home runs. He has 2 doubles. He's hitting for a good amount of power. And more power than 53-35 would suggest. And he's really, really close to gold. So if they wanted to give him just like a tiny little bitty boost against either righties or lefties, give him 38 versus lefties, 55 versus righties, that would probably be enough to carry him over the finish line to get to gold, especially with his good defense. So Josh Reddick could be an interesting guy to invest in. Even if they bring that power, or that contact versus righties down a little bit, the power that he's providing right now is more than compensating for it. So maybe he's a guy you want to take a look at. But okay, that's going to do it for the AL West. Any questions? Any questions? What's up, Simon? Elvis and Beltre on the DL. Okay, that's probably why they don't have any. Yeah, the fucking Rangers are weird right now. They don't have anybody. Insane Sports Channel. I've already talked about Jorge Soler and Alex Gordon. He didn't really pop out to me. Yeah, I mean, Alex Gordon is hitting 303 right now. God, his hitting stats have really fallen off. He's only hitting 303 right now. Well, he's only hitting he has a 792 OPS, so I don't really, that doesn't scream upgrade candidate, but his hitting stats are pretty bad, so I don't know, maybe they give him a slight upgrade or something. But yeah, I talked about Jorge Soler. Springer. What is Springer doing right now? No, Springer's hitting 256 with a 778 OPS. He's not getting an upgrade till. Come on now. Come on, bro. He ain't getting an upgrade yet. Not quite yet. He'll catch fire, though. Springer, one of the better diamond candidates this year. If he can start hitting a little bit better. Yeah, no problem. Insane Sports Channel. You can. I'll put this in the playlist, the upgrade playlist, so you'll be able to check it out. But all right, doesn't seem like there are any other questions about the AL West, so let's move on to the NL East and my favorite team, the fucking Atlanta Braves. All right, change paper. Guys, by the way, if I miss like any donations or anything like that, any super chats or sponsors or anything, because I have the chat pulled down because I have to read like my browser or whatever. If anything like that happens, just let me know whenever I'm fielding the questions and tell me that I got a super chat or something, okay? Just do that. That's the best solution I can think of. But if you have and I missed it, thank you. I appreciate it. But okay, the Braves. They got a lot of upgrade candidates, guys. It's just because I know the Braves better than any other team, so I feel more confident in saying guys deserve upgrades because I know more about them, especially when they're playing well. So one guy I'm not going to say, though, is Ozzie Albies. I feel like Ozzie needs to show a little bit more before they'll think about furthering his advancement. He did hit another home run today. He went 2 for 6 with a home run and a single today. But I think he needs to get his average back up over 290, get close to 300, continue hitting home runs at a decent pace, play good defense, steal some bases, all that, and everything will start to come up. But I don't think he's going to go up this week or next week. I think he's got to show a little bit more. He kind of hit a bit of a snag there for a minute, so I'm not going to be talking about Ozzie. But, guys, I am going to be talking about. First off, the first guy is Ronald Acuna. Now, Ronald Acuna does not have a card in the game right now. And if they don't do a roster update, he's not going to have a card in the game this week. But as soon as he gets a card in the game, invest quickly because his price is going to go through the roof. And I don't know what he might even come in as a silver. I don't know. He's one of the most hyped prospects in the past decade. And he has done nothing to quell those that hype. I mean, all he has done since he's been called up is murder the ball. So far, since he's been up, he hit another home run today, by the way. 112-mile-an-hour exit velocity, went 451 feet. But so far, he's hitting 382, 432, 706 for a 1,138 OPS and 34 at-bats. He has 2 home runs, 5 doubles, 13 hits, 5 RBI, has a stolen base. He's killing it. He's fucking killing it. He's as good as everybody thought he was going to be. He is a candidate to break through, go gold pretty quickly, maybe go diamond eventually. I don't know. But, yeah, invest in Ozzie quick. If the price is right. Another guy that I could see going up to gold, this is going to surprise you guys, Kurt Suzuki. Guys, don't look now, but Kurt Suzuki is a thing. Last year, he killed it. Go and look at Kurt Suzuki's stats from last year. The dude was a monster. Very under the radar, but he was a monster. And this year, hit another home run today. So far this year, he in only 79 at-bats. He has 5 home runs, 2 doubles. He's hitting 304. He's slugging 554, 918 OPS. He's not striking out that much, less than 10% of the time. The dude is killing it in every respect. One of the better hitting catchers in baseball right now. So I think Kurt Suzuki is one of the savvier investments this year. I think that he could be a gold guy. And I don't, with his batted ball profile right now, I don't see him regressing that much. So yeah, invest in Kurt Suzuki early and often. Nick Markakis, another guy, really surprising, could be going up to silver pretty soon. Holy shit. He is among qualified hitters. I actually believe that he's leading the NL in hitting right now. He's hitting .336. He has 5 home runs, which is insane. He's hitting .429 with a 429 on base percentage, 529 slugging, 958 OPS. He has 8 doubles to go with those 5 home runs. And he's done all this in 119 at-bats, so a fairly decent sample. Dude's been eating his Wheaties, man. He could be looking at power upgrades. He could be looking at contact upgrades. Overall, he's just been really solid. In fact, for like a day or two, he was leading the National League in WAR. So he's definitely going silver. One of my more confident picks to go silver at some point in May, at some point this month. Keep a lookout for Nick Markakis, man. And, okay. Next guy, another guy that's kind of a surprise. Shane Carl. Now, Shane Carl did, he had a little bitty injury the other night. It wasn't that big of a deal, though. He's going to be back in a couple days. But, guys, Shane Carl, so far this year, in 18.2 innings, he is a relief pitcher. 18.2 innings, has a .96 ERA, a 1.07 whip. He has 17 strikeouts in those 18.2 innings. He's been killing it. And for a guy that was really under the radar, only a 60 overall to start the year, all of his attributes are going to come up a decent bit once they decide to do an upgrade if he remains consistent. So he could be a bronze candidate. Maybe even a silver candidate later in the year if he can get 30, 40, 50 innings under his belt and keep that ERA around, under or around the 2. And right now he's had a really good start to the season, so keep your eye out for Shane Carl. And then finally, I have 3 more people left. Another guy, these are just guys to kind of keep your eye on. Mike Foltynewicz right now. He's pitching to a .253 ERA in 32 innings. Very solid. He struck out 39 guys in those 32 innings. He's walked a few too many hitters, but usually Mike is pretty good about his command. He's had kind of like, I think, a career like 3.5 walk per 9 or something like that. So he's never been great, but never been horrible in walk per 9. So I think that should come down. He has a 122 whip. Hitters are hitting 209 against him. So he's having a really solid year. Could be a silver candidate. Another guy to keep an eye out for is Sean Newcomb. He's had 2 fantastic games this year. 3 solid games this year, and then 1 terrible game this year. So right now he has a .338 ERA, but he's striking out. He struck out 42 hitters in 34.2 innings. He's striking out a ton of guys. He's cut down on his walks a good bit. And yesterday, against a pretty decent Mets team, he threw 7 innings of shutout baseball, only gave up 2 hits. It was really, really solid. It looks like everything is kind of starting to come together for Sean. Could be a little later on in the season if he continues along this trek. Could be a silver guy. And then finally, the last guy with the Braves is another guy who isn't even in the game yet, Mike Soroka. Mike Soroka got called up a few days ago, and I'm telling you, if there has never been a prospect in baseball that is safer to be at least a silver level player than Mike Soroka. He's the safest pitching prospect I've ever seen. He is like, in my mind, he is like guaranteed to be like a 3. Or better. Like, he could be better, but I don't think he's ever going to be worse than a 3. He's just so mature for his age and stuff. So he had a great debut too. So keep your eye out for Mike Soroka. Just going to mention that. Okay, I know I spent a long time on the Braves. They're my favorite team. You got to forgive me on that. But let's move on to the Marlins. Marlins have a couple of guys. They have Jarlin Garcia here. I probably just butchered that guy's name. But so far, 33 innings, 1.09 ERA, fantastic. He's only struck out 23 guys, so might need to bump that up a little bit. But his whip, a .85 whip, not bad at all. So keep your eye out for Garcia. Could be an interesting guy. Haven't seen him pitch yet, but could be an interesting guy. And then Real Muto. Oh, fuck. Don't start. Cooperate, please, internet. There we go. Okay, Real Muto was hurt starting the year, but since coming back, he's had 50 at-bats. He's hit 4 home runs, a double. He's hitting .340. He has a 1,000 OPS exactly. He's been killing it. He's one of the better catchers in the game. Could be a long-term diamond candidate, so keep your eye out for JT. Next up, the Nationals. I'm going to start going through these a lot faster now, guys, by the way. Just heads up. Nats are kind of weird. They don't have that many guys. Actually, them and the Mets are kind of that way. But they have a few guys. So, let's look here. Okay, first guy for the Nationals to talk about is Gio Gonzalez. In 33.2 innings, he has a 2.67 ERA. He has 37 strikeouts. He's striking out his fair share. The big knock on him has always been his walk per nine. He's not doing great in that category, but as long as he keeps that under control, he could be a gold guy. You know, high pedigree guy. He's been good his whole career. And if he can get back to that level he was at 3, 4, 5 years ago, could be a gold guy. So keep your eye out for him. Another guy, Matt Adams, who has been kind of a revelation this year. Well, he was kind of a revelation last year, but this year even more so. Matt Adams, so far this year, he only has 61 at-bats, but he's hitting .295, .403, .639 for a 1,042 OPS. He's hit 6 home runs. Just wow. Just wow. You know, so he's hitting like a home run every 10 at-bats, basically. Hitting a home run or a double every 5 at-bats. No. Every 7 at-bats, I think. But anyways, he's been killing it. Could be due for a power upgrade, maybe a contact upgrade too. Never going to be a defense first guy, but, you know, you can't have everything. So Matt Adams is a guy to look out for. Also, another guy to look out for is Howie Kendrick. Howie Kendrick has a .292 average. He has an .815 OPS, so not that out of the ordinary with his career norms. But the thing is he's only a 72 overall. So right now he has a 200 plus ISO. He could definitely stand to get some power upgrades. He's hit 4 home runs on the year and 11 doubles. So 15 extra base hits so far this year. Power definitely needs to come up some. And maybe, I don't know, maybe he's a silver player in the future. Moving on from the Nationals, we have the Mets. Mets have exactly one guy that I believe got upgraded last week, but is really the only guy that's really worth mentioning for the Mets right now that's playing like abnormally out of their attributes, and he's at this point not even doing that much. But it's Asdrubal Cabrera. There is an argument to be made that Juan Lagares deserves at least a contact upgrade because he is hitting .333 right now, so I guess I'll mention both of them. Juan Lagares probably deserves to be at least in the 70s in the contact department. Not providing a lot of power, though. Asdrubal Cabrera is murdering the ball, though. He has .327 average, 5 home runs, 10 doubles, .937 OPS. Dude's killing it. Another guy that's hitting pretty well, too, is Brandon Nimmo. He has a 1,008 OPS. The only problem with him is that he's only done it in 34 at-bats. He hasn't gotten consistent at-bats this year. Once he does, maybe he's a thing. He is a former top prospect, so you never know. And another thing to mention quickly is Cespedes has been kind of coming on lately, so maybe his slow start to the year is kind of starting to turn around. Keep your eye out for Cespedes. He's only a gold right now, maybe a long-term diamond. Then finally to the Phillies. Phillies have a few guys. Once again, Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola has been a workhorse. He has 45.2 innings pitched, a 2.17 ERA. He's only struck out 35 guys. He's not that big of a strikeout guy. But he hasn't walked that many guys. He only has 11 walks on the year. He has a .92 whip, or a 196 average against him. He's just killing it. And when you watch him pitch, and he's so young, when you watch him pitch, it looks like a young ace kind of rounding into form. I think that 2.17 ERA, I don't think that I think that's going to be about where he's at the end of the year. Maybe a little bit higher, but not a lot. And if that is where he kind of finishes the year at, I know it's super early to start talking about that, but that's how much I believe in Aaron Nola. That's a diamond pitcher. He probably needs to start striking out a few more hitters, but I think he's going to be an eventual diamond. So, yeah, that's Aaron Nola. Another guy deserves some love. Doesn't get a lot of love is Edbray Ramos. Right now in 13 innings, a .69 ERA, 16 strikeouts, 5 walks. Opponents are hitting 186 against him. He has a 1.00 whip. Really, really good. And he's only a 70 overall. He's kind of maybe due, 186 average against him, maybe due for a hit per 9 upgrade, something like that. I don't know, but he's been really good. And then another bullpen guy that kind of deserves some love, definitely deserves some love, is Victor Arano. 12 innings pitched, only a .75 ERA. Opponents are only hitting 119 against him, so 33 hit per 9, I don't think so. That's got to come up. He also has 13 strikeouts in 12 innings. That 39 K per 9, that's got to come up. He could be in for a huge upgrade, honestly. He could probably go from like a 44 to a 64, like a 20-point upgrade or something, which is crazy. But yeah, Victor Arano, definitely a thing to keep your eye on. .67 whip. He's been killing it. So, yeah, keep your eye on Victor Arano for the Phillies. So, they have a few guys, but nobody that's too exciting. So, yeah, that's it for the NL East. What do you guys got to say about that, huh? What you guys got to say about that? Odubel Herrera? Oh, shit. Did I miss on Odubel? I think I did, which is really dumb because we literally just got shelled by Odubel. The Braves did. I did miss on Odubel. I did. My bad, guys. I did miss on Odubel. Odubel right now is hitting .333, .392, .481 for an .873 OPS. He has 3 home runs, 5 doubles, and a triple. If he is going to... Maybe the reason that I passed on him was because I don't really see any warrant for a power upgrade right now. I mean, he does only have like a 148 ISO, which isn't that great. Even though it seems like he's hitting for more power, he's really not. But what he could get, maybe a slight power bump and then like a medium-sized contact bump, maybe, just to get him into like the high silver range. But he has been really good, so I would feel bad leaving him out. He's also hitting .333 with 108 at-bats. So, yeah, that does deserve some love. You are right. Who else did you say? Process? Greinke 2.0. Oh, wait. What about Familia? What about Familia? Let's look. Let's look at old Familia. Familia, he does have a 1.69 ERA right now. Let's look at him in the game too. There's a big problem with Familia, though. Right now, he's a 78 overall. He has 16 innings pitched. He has a 1.06 whip, a 190 average against him, 6 walks, 18 strikeouts. So you know, his peripherals look pretty good. Big problem with him is that in 12 save opportunities, he's only converted 9 of them. which isn't great. Also, another problem for him is that all of these attributes are kind of in line with what he's done so far. So I don't really see an avenue for upgrade. Yeah. I'm not putting Familia on here. Don't feel bad about it. Yo, what up, Winter Storm? What up, Miles? What up, Miles? He looks like he could have some power added, definitely. Odubel might need a fielding boost. Yeah, Process. I could probably go with you there. He probably 70. Yeah. He probably does need a fielding boost, but yeah, maybe a contact boost, maybe a vision boost. How often is he striking out right now? But not a power boost. I don't see a power boost. And if he does get one, it's going to be very slight, because a 148 ISO, it's just nothing to write home about, you know. Curly, I'm doing good, man. Acuna Diamond. Dude, Acuna is going to be the first guy to just come out straight diamond, because they're not doing a roster update this week. They're going to wait until next week to do it. And by that time, Acuna is already going to have like fucking 20 home runs. He's going to be hitting 600. And they're just going to be like, well, fuck. I mean, let's just put him in the game. 94 overall diamond. He's better than Trout. Jock and Jay-Z, I did talk about Charlie Morton some. I did. So, yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to the NL Central. I'm starting, guys. I haven't fucking eaten all day. The reason I was going through that kind of quick is because I'm gonna eat after I get done with this. So, yeah, I'm wanting to get out of here pretty quick. But yeah, let's talk about the NL fucking Central. Alrighty, the Cubs. First guy, Schwarb Daddy. Big problem with Kyle Schwarber is that avenue for improvement. I do think he's hitting 272 right now with a 379 on base percentage. He already has 95 discipline, so that on base percentage isn't going to move the needle a lot for me. But the 272 average, if he can maintain an average above 270, I feel like 60-35 contact might be a bit unjustified. Like, it should be just a tad higher. His strikeout percentage is not doing him any favors right now. But he's just a guy. I mean, a 972 OPS, it's so hard to see a guy with a 972 OPS that's only a 71 overall. I think they have to figure out a way to get him to silver. I mean, they don't have to, but it just feels weird having a guy that's that productive offensively be a bronze. I mean, I understand that his defense is that bad, but I mean, come on now. That's really my only argument with him, is that, like, just come on. Another guy, though, that does definitely 100% need something. Well, no, actually, never mind. They gave it to him last week. But a guy to monitor is Javi Baez. Javier Baez, he has 7 home runs on the year. He has 9 doubles and 3 triples. The dude has been an extra base hitting machine so far this year. He's only hitting 279. In fact, him and Ozzie Albies' attributes look awfully similar to each other. But he's only hitting 279. He has a 330 on base, 625 slugging. I think the power is going to come up, man. I think he's going to finish the year with mid-70s power. I really do. And, you know, maybe the defense comes up a little bit. Maybe even he can start hitting righties a little bit better for a little bit higher average. Could he go diamond? I don't know. He's still a good ways away, but I like me some Javi Baez. And the batted ball profile right now looks awfully sexy. I like me some Baez. I think that he is in for some big things. Another guy that warrants at least a mention, but something that's like pretty off-putting about his stats is Tyler Chatwood. Tyler Chatwood, what he's doing right now is almost certainly unsustainable. But right now, Tyler Chatwood in 28.2 innings has a 2.83 ERA. And, you know, that's not amazing this early on in the season, but he's only a 67 overall. So at first glance, I want to look at that and say, okay, he deserves a small upgrade. The problem is, my God, is he walking too many people. He's walked 22 hitters in 28 innings. He's only struck out 27 hitters. That's a terrible ratio, man. That's a terrible ratio. Opponents are hitting 204 against him. Somehow he only has a 147 whip with those 22 walks. It's just weird. I don't understand how he's pitched to a 2.83 ERA. So I think he deserves a mention just because of the fact that he's still been able to keep his ERA under 3 despite the fact that his command has been awful. But we'll see where he goes. But I just kind of wanted to mention him real quick. And then another guy who I do think could be up for an upgrade is my boy Brandon Morrow, same last name. Whoop, whoop. In 10 innings, he has a 0.00 ERA. Struck out 9, walked 3, has a .90 whip. Opponents hitting 176 off of him. Dude has been money. Dwayne Singh, I don't know how to say his. Is it Dwayne Singh? Dunsing? Something like that. He's also a guy that has a 0.00 ERA. And is he even in the fucking game? Yeah, there he is. He's a 68 overall. Maybe he gets an upgrade too. I don't know. Only 9 innings. Kind of small samples from the Cubs bullpen, but they've been pitching, or at least that part. Them two, Carl Edwards, Farrell, Strope, and Cishek, been pretty good for the Cubs. So yeah, some guys to keep an eye on for them. The Reds have a few guys. First guy, Suarez. I think I mentioned him last video. Suarez hitting .315 with a .593 slugging percentage for a 1,008 OPS. Very, very close to gold. So I would really like to see them kind of bump him up just that tad bit more to get to gold. And based off the numbers, they'd be completely justified in doing so. Even though he only has 3 home runs, he's getting extra base hits. He's only had 54 at-bats, too, so keep that in mind. And he's getting extra base hits and stuff at a rate that I think gold is probably justifiable. Plus, he's just been so steady throughout his career. I like him going gold. Another guy, Scott Schebler. Once again, only 56 at-bats, but 3 home runs, 3 doubles, hitting .304, 868 OPS, very solid. Jesse Winker is another guy that... Winker is kind of an interesting case. He's kind of a young guy, kind of a top prospect coming up type of guy. He's a 67 overall. He hasn't hit for a lot of power yet, but I think with his frame, the power is going to come. He's 6'3", 215. Look at that. The power is going to come, but right now his hit tool is looking pretty darn good. 304 or 302, 413, 384. It's never good when your slugging is lower than your on-base percentage, though. For a 797 OPS, so not bad. I don't really think he's an upgrade candidate yet, but he is a former top prospect. Not one that I was particularly fond of, but he is a guy to keep your eye on. Another guy just kind of worth a mention, Floro. Floro in 11 innings has a .77 ERA. He's only a 46 overall, so could be a guy to go up. Brewers. Okay. First guy. Not going to talk about Hader. He already got bumped up. I think they're going to take it a little slower on him now that he's a gold. But the first guy, where is he? There he is, Junior Guerra. Junior Guerra. All he's done in 4 starts, he's gone 22 innings. I don't know, is he hurt right now? I don't know. But in 22 innings, he has a .82 ERA, 176 opponent batting average, a .95 WHIP. Struck out 21 guys in 22 innings, so right around a 9 K per 9. It's not bad. Yeah, just overall been really solid. Kind of a small sample, but a .82 ERA is nothing to sneeze at. He is a bit of an older guy, so it's hard to know exactly what's real with him, but he's only a 69 overall, so he's probably due for a bump. Another guy. Oh, wow. Is he not on the first page? Where the fuck is he? There he is. Jeremy Jeffries. .51 ERA in 17.2 innings. That's a big sample right now for reliever, and a .51 ERA. Only has 13 strikeouts, so K per 9 might not go up a ton. But he's not walking that many people. He has a 155 opponent average against him, .74 WHIP. Jeffries has been very, very good. Who else? Oh, yeah. Jesus Aguilar. Jesus Aguilar has been murdering the ball. His offensive stats are already pretty solid. I mean, 57, 76, 75, 68, pretty good, but he might justify a bit of a boost. He's hitting 377, 417, 566. He actually has an ISO under 200 though, which is weird. But well, no, I guess it makes sense because in 53 at bats, he's only had 2 home runs, which that's still pretty good, and 4 doubles. So maybe he could hit for a bit more power, but as far as finding base hits and stuff, dude's been killing it so far, so keep an eye on Jesus Aguilar. No other real upgrade candidates with the Brewers. Pirates, though. Pirates. Pirates have a couple catchers that both are kind of deserving of upgrades. The first is obviously Francisco Cervelli. Cervelli right now hitting 310, 983 OPS, 5 home runs, 5 doubles, 2 triples, 84 at-bats. Dude's been killing it. Yeah, definitely deserves an upgrade. Another guy who's on a bit of a smaller sample than Cervelli, but out of the gate looks really good, is Elias Diaz. 405 average, 450 on base, 568 slug. He's hit 2 home runs and 37 at-bats. No doubles or triples, but so far so good for Elias Diaz. And Corey Dickerson, another guy that deserves an upgrade. Let's go take a look at Corey. So far on the season, I believe Corey got an early upgrade in the first update, so this is just kind of a continuation of that. But he has 4 home runs, 9 doubles, a triple, hitting 315 and 111 at bats, 878 OPS. Really solid so far. Williams. Trevor Williams, kind of an interesting guy, not a big strikeout pitcher, but in 41 innings, he has a 2.63 ERA. Opponents are hitting 193 against him. He has a 110 whip. Walking probably a few too many guys, but he's been able to pitch his way out of it for the most part. A 2.63 ERA is nothing to sneeze at in that sample. So it'll be interesting to see what Trevor Williams is able to do for the rest of the year. And Rodriguez. Wait, is that the Rodriguez I'm thinking about? Which Rodriguez is that? Oh, yeah. Richard Rodriguez. 0.96 ERA and 9.1 winning in 9.1 innings, but in those 9 innings, 15 strikeouts. He's only a 49 overall. He's, you know, I've never really heard of this guy as a reliever. I don't know if he's new or I don't know what the deal with him is. But dude's been killing it, so keep your eye out for Richard. Then finally, the Cardinals. First guy. Carlos Martinez is a madman. In 45 innings, he has a 1.40 ERA, 45 strikeouts, 19 walks, 1.04 whip, 179 average against him. He's a monster. He's a diamond candidate. Keep your eye out for Martinez. And another guy, kind of a bit of a surprise, but kind of a classic guy, Bud Norris. Bud Norris in 15.2 innings of relief work has a 1.72 ERA, 22 strikeouts. Not bad at all. Only 2 walks, even better. 0.89 whip, 214 average against him. He has not been bad at all. So there are also some other guys like Hicks. We can take a look at Hicks real quick. Where is he at? Where you at, Hicks? Does Hicks not have a card? Where is he? I know I'm not missing him, right? Okay, well, I guess he doesn't have a card. He's been pitching good, though, so keep your eye out for him. All right, that's going to do it for the NL Central. Any questions? How about them Reds? Don't be a dick. Any questions about the NL Central? Oh, no, I did not see CB5's Twitter saying that. I'll have to talk with him about that. I don't know, man. I hope he's not. He's great for the community. I love me some Cardinal Bird. But yeah, like Jordan said, I don't really blame him. Tell you what, SDS is losing probably the best pioneer for the game that they could hope for. The best, like, flag carrier for MLB The Show. Who's going to take over that mantle? Me? I say the word faggot. I can't do that. Blessed One Styles. I agree, man. I think Mookie deserves it. But okay, moving on to the last division, the National League West. They are probably the lightest on upgrade candidates, but they still got some. Diamondbacks have a few. The first guy, wow, man. He's been injured a ton, but, man, he's come back with a bang. A.J. Pollock, a 1,049 OPS, 10 home runs, 81 overall. Probably deserves some power upgrades, 9 doubles, 2 triples. Wow, just a 377 ISO and 114 at-bats. He has 8 steals to go along with it. I mean, he could be getting boosts across the board. A.J. Pollock, a good bet to go diamond. In fact, I'm about to buy a couple of him right now. Fuck it. I'm buying into A.J. Pollock. He's been killing the ball, and he has a pedigree too. So another guy, Peralta, David Peralta. So far this year, 297. With a 905 OPS, 5 home runs, 7 doubles, and 101 at-bats. Very solid. Could get some power upgrades. And then finally, another guy that we touched on last week, Patrick Corbin. Patrick Corbin has been a man on a mission. In 46 innings, he has 60 strikeouts, 2.15 ERA, .76 whip, 163 opponent average against him. That hit per nine is going to come up, and he's going to be a gold sooner rather than later. In fact, I'm going to buy me a couple of him because I'm a believer. I am a believer in the ability of Patrick Corbin. Okay. Moving on from the Diamondbacks to Rockies. DJ LeMahieu. LeMahieu needs some power upgrades. Right now he has a 215 ISO, an 871 OPS. He might get a bit of a downgrade in contact, but I mean, he's only hitting 290. It's not like he's going to get a huge downgrade, but I think he could go up a few points in the power department. Maybe a +5 against both sides or something like that. And that might get him to gold. He deserves it. DJ LeMahieu has been a steady force for that Rockies team for a while. I'd like to see him go up. Charlie Blackmon, I would talk about him a little bit, but I think that he probably needs to stay around where he is right now. I mean, his card is so good already, but let's kind of pump the brakes on him just a little bit. Chad Bettis. Chad Bettis, very solid. 37 innings of work, 2.43 ERA, 105 WHIP. Not striking out that many guys. That's not really his game. So, you know, got to keep an eye on. Pitching really well, but we'll see where the rest of the season takes him. And then, obviously, everyone's favorite relief pitcher so far early this year, Adam Ottavino. A lot of people are calling that this guy might go gold. And I can't say that I disagree. In 17 innings, 31 strikeouts, he's only walked 4 guys. He has a .47 whip, .77 average against him. I mean, he's just dominating. And if it weren't for, like, his past career, he would have gone up a lot faster. But this could be a 32-year-old breakout year for Adam Ottavino, so look out for that dude. He's killing it. The Dodgers only have a couple guys. They have Ryu. There you are. Ryu in 29 innings has a 2.12 ERA. He has 36 strikeouts. He could be due for a K per 9 upgrade. .88 whip, 154 average against him. Really, he could use an upgrade in everything because he's not walking a lot of guys either. Well, I don't know. He's walking his fair share, but yeah, Ryu deserves an upgrade. Honestly, and they need to go back to whatever Clayton Kershaw was before they downgraded him, because Clayton Kershaw, his ERA is 2.86. Let's pump the brakes on saying that he's having a bad season. He's not. He's having a good season so far. But anyways, Ryu is one guy, and then another guy, I think a guy I mentioned last week, is Yasmani Grandal. Another guy who I think could go gold. Grandal hitting 298, 396, 521, 918 OPS, 4 home runs, 9 doubles, killing it, 94 at-bats. Guy's playing really well right now. I see him potentially getting some contact upgrades, maybe slight power upgrades, and potentially going gold. Always been a very underrated player, Yasmani Grandal. The Padres have a few guys. I'm not going to talk about Christian Villanueva. He already got his upgrade. He's going to have to keep it up for a little bit longer. But the first guy, Franchy Cordero. Franchy's only hitting 260, 316, 534 for an 851 OPS, but he's hitting for some pop. He has 6 home runs, 2 doubles, striking out a good bit, not hitting for a high average or anything, but I could see that power start. SDS is already kind of recognizing that he has really good power to go along with that really good speed. Not saying he's going to be a 5-tool because he has to work on his defense and his contact skills, needs to stop striking out so much, but a potential guy that could be a big-time power speed combo threat. So keep your eye out for Franchy Cordero. Matone. Where you at? There you are. Phil Matone, whatever. Phil Maton has 11 innings pitched, .82 ERA, a 1.45 whip, 13 strikeouts, been very solid. Only thing that kind of concerns me is that whip, that 1.45 whip. Probably not going to be able to sustain that and a .82 ERA at the same time. So something to keep an eye on, but so far so good for my boy Phil. And then finally, Joey Lucchesi, I guess is how I'm going to say it. Young pitcher, so far so good for him too. 32.1 innings pitched, 2.78 ERA, 35 strikeouts, 1.11 ERA, 222 average against, very solid so far. I like me some Joey Lucchesi. And then finally, the Giants. Giants have 4 guys. First guy is Tony Watson, former gold lefty. Tony Watson is back to doing work. 13.2 innings. He has a .66 ERA. He's only given up 1 earned run, .95 whip. Opponents are only hitting .208 off of him. He has 15 strikeouts in those 13.2 innings. He's only walked 3. He's back to his old self. I think he's going to get bumped up to at least a silver at some point this year, maybe a gold. We'll see. Another guy, my boy Cueto. Cueto's on his way back, y'all. I'm telling you, 32 innings, .84 ERA, 26 strikeouts. Strikeouts need to come up a little bit. Only walked 6 people, though. He has a .69 whip. Opponents are hitting 150 against him. My boy is back, y'all. Cueto is back. Dude needs to, I mean, I don't know if he's going to make a tier jump or anything crazy like that, but if he keeps pitching like this, I mean, how do you deny him? I mean, he's killing it right now. Couple other guys. Brandon Belt. All Brandon Belt's done this year is just a 1,001 OPS. No big deal. 6 home runs, 5 doubles, 1 triple, 304 batting average. Guy's killing it. Guy's always been steady. He probably needs to get bumped up to a gold. And then one guy who is a bit of a surprise, I guess. I don't know. He's always been kind of a good hitting catcher. Is Nick Hundley. Nick Hundley so far this year hitting .326, got 3 home runs, got 4 doubles, and only 46 at bats. So kind of a smaller sample size, but he's been killing it in that sample size. So if he kind of keeps that up, can get up to 80, 90 at bats. Who knows? It's going to be kind of tough to get there with Buster Posey and everything, but you never know, man. Nick Hundley has been hitting the ball really well right now, and we will see. But guys, that is going to do it. Any questions about the NL West? Any more questions? Really trying to improve. Any suggestions? Main focus would be MLB The Show. Bought editing software. I mean, do you have all your equipment and stuff? If you have all your equipment, if you need like technical advice or anything, I'm probably not the best person for that, but if you need some and you don't have anywhere else to go, you can like tell me to follow you on Twitter. I'll follow you back and we can like DM about it or something. But if you need just like, you know, how to run a channel advice, just be consistent. Just try to upload every day. Try to stream occasionally, and you'll grow. You'll grow. It'll take time. Don't get discouraged. That's the big thing. This feels like a long stream. It kind of has been, honestly. Damn, dude. I was planning on this going for like an hour. It's already been 2 hours. I can't fucking believe it. I did not think it was going to take this long. But yeah, I think I'm done, guys. I got to go eat. I got to go, I don't know, beat off. I don't know. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with some gameplay. We'll see if any new content drops tomorrow. No new roster update, but we'll see if new content drops. Maybe the player of the month. Maybe we can get a sick-ass Diamond Ozzy Albies. How dope would that be? They'll probably do a fucking Jed Lowry just to piss me off. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it. I love y'all. see y'all later. But until then.